Jessica Pegula and Madison Keys reveal one Asian swing demand that leaves them exhausted. Coco Gauff captured it perfectly last year, calling the Asian swing a bit isolated, admitting, especially in swings like Asia where it maybe is more isolated than usual, we just play Uno lot. That raw honesty sums up the brutal grind, leaving the US Open and diving straight into weeks of travel, time zones, and mental battles. With this year's swing already in motion at the Korea Open, Madison Keys and Jessica Pegula have stepped in, laying bare the hardest parts, from endless flights to finding focus, showing fans the true cost of staying competitive on tour. The WTA stars Madison Keys, Jessica Pegula, Jennifer Brady, and Desiree Crouchick have taken a fresh leap into storytelling with their newest venture, the Players Box podcast. Launched just a few weeks ago, this project gives the four American players a chance to speak freely, not just about tennis, but also about the unseen sides of life on tour, the flights, the fatigue, and the moments that test their resilience. And when the conversation turned toward the Asian swing, Madison Keys didn't hold back. Keys, who withdrew from the Billie Jean King Cup, was the first to take the mic. The courts are great. The hotels are so nice. The gym is always really good. It's just like the long I feel like it's hard because it's like you start the year with a really long flight and then you end the year with a really long flight, she shared. Her words struck a chord with anyone who's felt the wear of endless travel. She continued, adding a sharp observation about the mental challenge. So, I think that's always just kind of especially for us Americans that I think we get a little comfortable just being able to be in the States for like 6 weeks, and then we're like that 27-hour flight option doesn't seem amazing. The honesty of that line, a mix of humor and reality, perfectly painted the picture of what players go through just to show up on court. Jessica Pegula, who was already in China preparing to lead Team USA at the Billie Jean King Cup, then chimed in with her own travel story, one that sounded more like a military operation than a tennis trip. I have to go Florida to LA to Hong Kong, and then I have to drive, and because you have to fly and then drive to Shenzhen, which is like maybe 2 hours. I'm not sure, she explained. Pegula didn't stop there, adding a detail that made everyone nod in sympathy. But you have to go over the border. So, you have to go like into mainland China. And I think I land at like 7 a.m. So, Monday is going to be an absolute grind for me. I'm going to adjust later in the day, but we'll see how that works out. It was the kind of raw insight that fans rarely get to hear, the travel grind behind the glamorous highlight reels. 9 months of nonstop action have brought the WTA Tour to its final chapter, the Asian swing. With the Grand Slam calendar closing after the US Open, the last WTA 1000 events now unfold at the Dongfeng Voya, Wuhan Open, followed by the remaining WTA 500s in Ningbo and Tokyo. For the elite players, this stretch isn't just about finishing the season, it can completely rewrite the story of their year. Coco Gauff summed up the mental challenge best, saying last year, "It's kind of weird because your brain is like the Grand Slams are over so you're kind of relaxed. But it's a lot of points, a lot of money at stake. It's 2 1000s left and there's a couple of 500s. They're big tournaments and you want to win them." Her words captured that tug-of-war between fatigue and ambition that so many players face. Even Pegula, coming off a tough US Open defeat to Aryna Sabalenka, has emphasized how high the stakes really are. A lot of people think after the US Open it's done, but no, she reminded. There are 2 very big events that can really change the course of the end of the year. Especially for top players, the end-of-the-year rankings and end-of-the-year race. That's really important. That's something we're really focused on. 2023 proved that point perfectly when IGA Swiatek used the Asian swing to mount a late surge, reclaiming the #1 ranking from Sabalenka in the very last match of the season. You put in a lot of work throughout the whole year, so now that it's the end, have some appreciation for getting through most of the year, Pegula said. It's the last swing, give it everything you got. There's still a lot at stake. I think some people either tend to shut down or dread this part of the year, but you have to kind of find a way to refresh and reset. And now, as Keys and Pegula laugh and vent about the grind on the Players Box podcast, fans get to see their reality, the endless flights, the border crossings, the mental resets. Keys will launch her Asian swing at the China Open, while Pegula continues to grind it out in Shenzhen. Together, their words remind us that professional tennis